All right, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Chasing Collectibles Catchup. I'm Tyler.
I'm
I'm
Lauren.
Tim. He's Lauren. I'm Tim.
It's perfectly coordinated. And we have a very exciting episode. It's kind of, I guess, a Valentine's Day special. We have Chris and Sara, the dynamic duo of Beardy, Weirdy. So welcome.
Thanks for having us. Thanks for having us.
I've heard that you guys are together. So I'd like to start us off with how did you guys originally meet? This dynamic duo that's going across the Carolinas and all places, doing shows at the same time on the same day, just kicking butt. How did you guys originally meet?
That's taking us way back there. So we've been together over 22 years now. So first meeting was in ninth grade of high school.
Wow.
Yeah, we actually talked via AOL Instant Messenger first.
Tyler, you're too young for that. You're too young for that. Yeah.
Is that with the whole? Is that with like a telegram? What is that? Is that?
Close, very close, very similar.
I mean,
wow, you're getting
like
back to my arc of age.
Yeah, but we went to middle school together, but we never really had any classes or anything. And the first week of high school or so, some of our friends had classes with us and suggested we might dig each other. So he hit me up via AOL Instant Messenger one night, and we started talking. And
not like a creeper in seventh grade. Like, hey, little mama, what's happening? Your parents know you're on here?
Well, my friends had kind of prepared me, so I was like kind of waiting for his message. But his name was Marvel Rigo on there. And mine was Flex 464, which I know sounds really weird, but I used my older brother's instant messenger name, and he liked to work out a whole lot. So, we talked, that way that night and decided to, hang out together. We met actually in person the next day, that morning, and I don't think we said two words to each other because we were scared to death. We were like 14 and like, super scared.
Of course, I'm sorry, but with AOL trying to communicate, it was waiting, 2 to 3 minutes for the response to go through.
Just to get on the internet.
Oh yeah, just to get on the internet.
Just to get on the internet. I mean, But, anyways, though, yeah. So I mean, ninth grade. Sara didn't realize that I was even into comic books at the time. Keep in mind that in the early 2000s, I mean, comic books were not cool. It was still kind of shunned and stuff. So
yeah, when I met him, I knew nothing about him liking comic books at all. It was he was playing guitar, so that's kind of how.
Lauren, the cool kids play music. They don't collect comic books. They don't,
So yeah, I didn't really understand his AOL name. I didn't understand what Marvel was to begin with. And then that kind of slowly, we would go see like Spider-Man in theaters or X-Men in theaters. And I was like, okay, I guess he likes, superhero stuff. And it wasn't until many years later, he sat me down literally in his bedroom. He's like, Sara, I gotta tell you something. And I'm like, thinking like, what's happening? This is, this is something serious happening. And he's like, follow me. So we crawled into his closet to see like these eight long boxes hidden back here. And he's like, I like comic books. And I'm like, okay, that sounds cool.
that could have ended.
I mean, in
really
there
bad.
Is like X-Men #1. I mean, he was
an avid collector and I had no idea. So
elementary school, middle school. Yeah.
He was like, yeah, baby. So these are my mutants.
I mean,
exactly. So it was kind of a surprise, but I was, I've always been into, fantasy type stuff and whatnot. So it wasn't like, oh my gosh, or anything. It was, that's awesome. That makes sense.
Yeah.
That's cool.
The kids nowadays have it easy because, I mean, there's so much media that's put out that, I mean, comic books and all that. It's cool. It wasn't then, so
It seems
Yeah.
like there was a time where comics weren't cool. They were cool, then they weren't cool, now they're cool again.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
I would say probably the 70s, 60s, 70s, 80s comics were cool. I mean, you had your Secret Wars, everybody was all about the Secret Wars and everything in 84. And then sort of towards the 90s when it was almost when the music changed, you know, from heavy metal to grunge. Everything sort of just faded away as far as being cool anymore. Heavy metal and comic books were all great, and then it switched, and then it came back, like you said, after the 2000s somewhere, probably after the Spider-Man movie, really.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
that was probably the biggest. I mean, the first X-Men movie was big, but that first Spider-Man, that really pushed things up, man.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. But I mean, I would have still thought he was just as awesome if he would have told me about his comic books, you know, day one. But you know, it's a secret.
There you go. It's a sign of the times. It's a sign of the times, you know. So, but yeah. So
we were babies, you know, basically, you know, 14-year-old little us.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I mean, went to high school together, went to college together, played in a band together. Oh my goodness. I mean,
What?
but
Wow.
yeah,
Done it all.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, if it wasn't for AOL Instant Messenger and being a slight creep and stuff, I mean, life would be totally different.
Yeah, those free CDs you got in like a cereal box to try AOL for free really helped out.
Yeah.
I mean, y'all, Tyler, again, you're probably too young for this, but Lauren, Tim, do you guys remember the AOL discs? I
They
mean,
were attached to everything.
anything and everything. It was
Net Zero. Remember?
I mean, again, there you go.
Yep.
There you go. Yeah.
This is
Yep.
actually a great transition to our first sponsor. Chasing Collectibles is brought to you by
Man,
Yeah.
that is awesome, you guys. So when you guys are doing shows, what is it that you find really fun about doing them when you're doing them together?
Just the time to spend together. Also, having a bathroom break is always nice. As y'all know, see, there's three of y'all. Now, Tim, last weekend you were rolling solo. But I mean,
Well, I brought my daughter. She's also a member of the Chasing Collectibles crew. Yeah, she's our
you say B Squad?
yeah,
Tyler,
we say yeah, when she comes
The
on,
reserves.
it's time for the B Squad. And we refer to her as human resources. You know, she's a little you know, like she doesn't like doing the shows and stuff that we do, but you know, sometimes she's listening. Yeah.
I gotcha.
And,
Yeah, I mean, it's fun doing shows with friends in general, but with your best friend and or the love of your life, it's always good. I mean, I wish we could do more shows together, but
We've got some fur babies, you know, so we don't want to really leave them alone for too long. So you know, if we do split forces and things like that, I usually go to like one of the shorter shows or something so we can get back. So but we try to do the ones that are really close to home together as much as possible, because you know it's fun hanging out with your best friends. So
so last weekend, I mean, it was, well, Tim, you know, because you were in Matthews, I mean, which was a great show, and then Sara was in Hickory at the one of the shows that Time Tunnel puts on. So yeah, but I mean, just being able to hang out and stuff.
and you get to dork out all day together. So
yeah, that's awesome.
I mean, Sarah's big into like the retro video game stuff and current generation stuff. So
yeah, I get to go, you know, look at that stuff and geek out over it, and he gets to geek out over comic books, and you know.
yeah, see, I love playing those games, and every time you guys have, you know, a little bit of information about the games and stuff, I love to hear it.
Well, okay, Sam. Well, hey, real quick, I mean, so we set up at shows, but I mean, Sara and I will pick up collections together a lot. If I go check out something, she's with me a lot, and
you know, we collect as well. So
This is something in a mountain or a collection we picked up in the mountains
Oh,
late last year.
Wow.
But the thing is, this is a Pokemon Blue that is the first. The camera, it's not going to pick up on this, but it's a misprint where it says Pokemon Red on the back instead of Blue. So it's the most uncommon Pokemon Blue that
Wow.
there is. So but yeah, I mean,
yeah, that was one of the
Wow.
first games, you know, I remember playing as a kid was Pokemon Blue. So,
Yeah.
you know, the nostalgia of, you know, hanging out on my bed, just catching all those Pokemon.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah, Lauren, that's a
and
blast.
then being in my 30s and being like, yeah, I still want to be catching Pokemon. So,
Lauren, for context, that was a Blastoise that you just saw.
A what?
A Blastoise. That's the third form of Squirtle.
I mean,
Right.
yeah, Squirtle was my first Pokemon.
Oh yeah, I've got my I don't care hat on. I've never got into really any video games. It never got into me, probably because of my constant drumming, being in bands. Never had time for that stuff or the patience. You know, you're pressing the buttons, right, and you're like, this is not doing anything. So I'm just randomly just hitting buttons like fish. I can't do it. So I just gave up. It's just not my bag. But I totally get the collectability. I totally get the playability and the want and desire to play them. Just never got into it myself.
Not
So
even
it's
Mortal
just-
Kombat or
What?
Street
No.
Fighter?
Well, I actually played that as an arcade game.
Mhm.
Yeah. Fight. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
great.
Finish him.
I am horrible at Mortal Kombat and fighting games like that. Chris likes to play those with me so he can destroy me in those frequently because I'm a button masher for those. I have no idea, and if I do a move, I'm like, oh my god, yeah.
Yeah, how'd I do that?
well, Lauren, did you never get down on like Galaga or anything?
Oh yeah. In the
Okay,
arcades,
okay.
but never on a TV. Just in the
Okay, yeah,
arcades.
okay.
And I used to do I was obsessed with Dragon Lair because I was sure that I could memorize all the moves. And then you get to a certain point, it's like what's that game where you push the button and it goes doot, then you hit doot, and then the next one goes doot doot, then you go doot doot. Simon Says whatever. It's a round
Okay.
disc and it's got the 4 colors. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was
Okay,
really good
okay.
at that, but I
Okay.
couldn't master the Dragon Lair. But man, that game was really fun just because of the fact that it wasn't like a cartoon generated thing, but it was an actual drawing. It was actual like a cartoon instead of a
Oh yeah,
pixel or whatever.
yeah.
You had to
I
choose
cannot
left or
remember.
right for the guy to go up the ladder or down the path or whatever. And I spent quarter after quarter after quarter after quarter on that thing just trying to master it. But
Oh man, that
Gallons
was
of
like
gas you were putting
me.
in the machine back then.
That
What?
was me with
What?
like Marvel.
I
Marvel
missed it from the young person
I
there.
said that's gallons of gas you were putting in the machine back
Well,
then.
back then, yeah. Well, I would walk
But-
there, so
But I mean that was me with like Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
Mhm.
That was an awesome one. I think
Well,
that was my favorite fighting game. That one and Tekken Tag.
don't know.
I mean, Sarah and I spent plenty of time at we grew up in the Waxhaw, Monroe area. Spent time in the Monroe arcade. So yeah,
Yes.
Mortal Kombat, Tekken.
Mhm.
Yeah, good times.
I also
Yep.
like skee ball. I don't know if you guys ever played skee ball before, but that's fun.
Old school.
Yeah.
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 Pac-Man was another good one in the arcade. Loved that.
Yep.
Donkey Kong.
Nah, not so much. Centipede, yeah, I did some of that. But Galaga, I really dug. I thought that was great. You know, just
Yeah, Galaga's probably my
Trying to-
favorite arcade
trying
game.
to
Yeah.
shoot the. Yeah, that was good.
Was that Galaxian, which is basically a clone of it? Space Invaders.
Yeah.
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 Well,
So
we digress. Anyways, check out
I-
the sweet Pokemon Blue, the rarest one you're gonna find. Yeah.
That's pretty
yeah,
cool.
man, that's gotta
yeah?
be. That's,
Well, yeah.
that's
Well,
a
look
really
at
cool
my
find.
Amazing Fantasy 15 that I have.
Let's see it. Let's see it.
That's
Oh.
it.
Peace.
There you go.
Suckers. Oh
That's
my
really
goodness.
cool though. But as we're talking about you guys doing shows and everything, can you guys elaborate a little bit more on what's it like to do like two separate shows at once when you guys have to separate and divide and conquer? I don't know if there's any more you can really
Well,
say.
I mean,
Do you guys get to pick and choose, or do you have to flip a coin to say, okay, I'm going to this place and you're going to that place?
So this dude makes it pretty easy on me. He usually gives me like short boxes instead of long boxes. I usually go to the closer to home shows or the shorter shows, things like that. So he makes it super easy on me. But occasionally I really like to go to the mountains. So if it's like Boone or Asheville or something, I'll try to go to those. Just because I like to drive in the mountains. But
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, the most complicated thing with doing two shows is since we have a small retail location, but besides the stock that stays there, if you do two separate shows, you need to have the stuff to cover both of those shows. So that means a lot of stuff being prepared. So that if there's any hurdle or complication or that's the biggest thing. But yeah,
he also does a great job of preparing super early. So early in the week where I'm already set, the van's packed up and I'm ready to go. So even though it's two shows, he makes it easy by prepping early. So
this weekend, I mean, there's the Heroes Mini Con, and Sarah's going to be helping me with that. But there's technically two shows that we're going to be doing this weekend. Saturday's that show, and then we're going to be at a show in Clemens, which is right outside Winston-Salem this weekend. So it's the same thing where you need to have like an A stock and a B stock. So that's the only thing that gets complicated when you set up at multiple shows in a weekend or separate shows on the same day, is just having enough stuff organized and ready to roll for those. So
we text each other frequently throughout the day, how it's going and what we're selling and that kind of stuff. So I know if he's not texting me back, it's because it's real busy.
Pretty busy, yeah. So which it was in Matthews on Saturday. I mean, Tim, you can attest to that. I mean, they did a great job with that show. But
it was like Gears of War horde. You just have one wave after another.
Yeah, I mean that South Charlotte area is definitely primed for really as many events as I feel like you can handle. So yeah, those dudes did a great job with it though too. But I mean, as far as Sarah and I though, I mean, I do try to if it's a 2-table show, I'll take that. If it's a 3-hour show or 4-hour show away, I'll take that, and I'll give her the closer one. So
yeah,
I mean, it's just one of those.
Do you ever have to like call one another and say, hey, I got this guy, he wants to buy this. It's maybe it's a high dollar thing, and the guy wants to give you X amount of dollars and you're asking for X amount of dollars. Do you ever have to call one another either way and say, look, can we take this? Do we want to take this, or should I decline this cat?
Yeah, I I'll reach out to him, I'll FaceTime or take pictures and be like, hey, what are you thinking? Or if somebody, brings a collection for us to look at,
yes,
I'm not sure, if he might be interested in it, I might take a picture or FaceTime him,
Yeah, sometimes it goes the other way where, yeah, like Sarah's saying, where someone is trying to sell something to you. But I mean, I don't mind being the cheapest guy in the room, and that goes, for Sarah too. So I mean, I don't mind discounting stuff. Sarah knows that too.
Yeah.
But I mean, we definitely communicate, all day and stuff. But yeah, the most exciting thing is if someone has something to sell. As y'all know, I mean, that's the most. Who's gonna walk in with something?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So
yeah.
This is completely off subject, but since it's sort of Valentine's-ish thing, do you ever send heart emojis to each other? I mean, I want to tear up. I mean, I really, come on.
Yeah.
I know I almost made you spill your drink right there, so that's part of my my goal.
Lauren, literally on a daily basis. So, I mean, Sarah does an amazing job helping me with the convention stuff, and even like today we restocked, the spot over at the depot and stuff. But Sarah has her own. She teaches at the college. She does real estate stuff. So if she's out doing something, yes, we definitely do the heart emojis.
Yeah.
If there's, yeah, I know, yeah, but I mean, we're look again, not to reconnect to the AOL thing, but we come from that age, so
Yeah.
we still hold on to, yeah, we're yes, we do,
Yes, we do.
yes, we do, yeah, yeah. So,
That's awesome.
but Lauren, I mean, I've seen your wife at shows before.
Yes. She's a recent acquired. She doesn't really like it that much, but she's really gained the love of coming with me and hanging out with me. She might not be so interactive, but she just loves coming to help and be with the three of us, and Emma and Courtney, Tim's wife. We all love to hang out together and just jabber all day long, and she really gets a kick out of the different people that come up to the booth. She really finds it fascinating that we know so much about, say, some of our repeat customers, where we've gained friendships and camaraderie with each other. And she just loves hanging out and getting to know people and getting to know more about what it is that we do as far as, grading, pricing. Did you just sell that for more than you or less than you should have? I'm like, no, it's okay. It's all right. We got this. Yeah, I paid a quarter for it 30 years ago, so we're good at making $600.
Yeah,
she really likes it.
And it's kind of same with me. I really enjoy bringing Courtney, to the shows and stuff. It's, I get to do two things that there's two things going on that I love, selling books and talking shop and like, I don't know if you might consider that three, and hanging out with with my wife. So, and to be honest, she's much better at talking to people than I am. I can like know the material and know what this book is, or I love talking shop with people, but when it comes to like having a certain tone to dealing with people and everything, she's it's much more her comfort zone than mine.
Usually,
Yeah, Tim, I remember
you're like, buy this.
she was down in Florence and she was doing a good job with everyone. I remember that for sure.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that and she's also the muscle. So
I feel you, Tim.
We've become like a small family. I mean, I met my wife at I knew her in high school, but I saw her at a convention. I saw her cosplaying as something. I was like, oh my gosh, I think I like you. And that's how we kind of, so she doesn't come to the shows with us as often, really, but she knows what I do and she supports it. And we formed like a kind of a small family in the chasing collectibles world. Like I remember what show was, I think it was the last Charlotte Comic-Con. Me and Emma teamed up to pressure Tim to let us take his van to go get Zaxby's. And, we were like trying to gang up on him. We were like, hey, let's, we're hungry. We need to go get food. And it's kind of funny.
Yeah, they want to take my van. I'm like, wait a minute. I don't know if they're going to go for like a joyride or like, they're like, oh yeah, we're going to Zaxby's. And next thing I know, they
put that Uber sign in the window and off they go making that cash. Oh my gosh.
But
it's always it's always great to have a significant other that is supportive of what you're interested in, whether it makes money or not. If it's something you're passionate about, if it makes money, that's also great. But yeah, it sounds like, I mean, we're all vibing on that. You're right.
Oh yeah.
I
so when you guys think back upon say previous shows over the years, do you have any specific great memories from them? What's some of your favorite times out there?
Okay, so I mean, we looked at the questions beforehand. Okay, we're gonna make that really clear here. But I mean, this is going to be a short list of things, but we have so many experiences of buying collections and weird things that we would love to talk about. But I mean, I think that so in college, we went to a lot of conventions. We went to the Charlotte Comic Con all the time because I went to it as a kid. And then when I got back into it, I mean, I introduced Sara and stuff.
He told me his secret.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we went to the
He brought his
Heroes
comics out of the closet.
Exactly. X-Men 1. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's good stuff. But going to the Charlotte Comic Con, that was something that you know, we went to for years, and I'd worked for Dave's, you know, when I was very, very young. So the first time getting to set up at that was a huge thing. And Sara was right there with me. My friend Josh was there too. I mean, when, you know, before he moved to Massachusetts, we did a lot of shows together, but Sara was right there too. And then, I mean, the next biggest thing was probably
Heroes.
the Heroes convention, just because I mean, it's like the gold standard in this area. But also in 2017, I mean, we started doing our own convention, the Concord Microcon, which was a pretty, you know, a sizable thing. And Sara's always been like the third wheel / cog in it. And after my buddy Josh moved, I mean, she's really stepped up in that. So, I mean, those are the three biggest things, I guess.
Yeah, just kind of, you know, watching us evolve from going to shows and being, you know, a patron, to watching him kind of evolve into being on the other side of the table and being that vendor, you know, really taking on that role, and then, you know, running his own, you know, their own show.
Which y'all know. I mean,
you know.
y'all can vibe on that hard, I'm sure, because I mean, from being collectors and then going to shows, and then from being on that side of the table to the other. I mean, that's, you know, and I mean, in this area, in the greater Charlotte area, there's, I mean, the Charlotte Comic Con and then the Heroes Convention. So to be able to be a part of both of those, I mean, that's pretty good.
It's been cool. Kind of see it grow.
Yeah.
As far as like collections we've picked up, and
yeah, I've been on a lot of picks with Chris, and they're always very interesting. Some more than others. But so we have a lot of those kind of memories, you know, finding the stuff in the first place, which is always, you know, the thrill of the hunt is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So I'm glad I get to go on a lot of those little missions with them, you know.
Setting up at a convention, you know what to expect to a certain extent. You're going to load in early, blah, 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 this and that. You go, like, you get a random call or something, you go check out a collection. I mean, you don't know what to expect. And I mean, there have definitely been things where I'm like, this is not what I expected. And I mean, Sara's seen it too. Or even like flea market finds or yard sale finds where you're like, well, I didn't expect this morning. So that's the more interesting things. I mean,
yeah.
The biggest collection that her and I picked up together was in 2019. It was a store that had gone out of business in the mid 90s. It's called Solar Comics. It was a little over 500,000 comic books.
It's a lot of comic books, y'all.
Her and I moved those within 2 days. I mean, last time I did a thing with y'all, I told you about this. Yeah, but
yeah, talk about muscle. Like, that was literally probably the hardest I've ever worked in my life. It was just 2 days of moving comic book boxes, and they weren't just like long boxes, they were like meat boxes packed full of comic books. It was like carrying a dead body. Like it's like very heavy. But 2 whole days of moving that.
They were only 30 minutes from where we're at, so it wasn't too bad of a drive, but it was absolutely insane.
And then moving that into our house where it just, you know, filled the rooms from floor to ceiling, and then, you know.
Yeah, that wouldn't fly here. No.
But,
We'd have to get a storage unit.
I know that it's gonna be, you know, it was like a maze for a little bit, but I know, like, he goes through stuff so fast, so it was gone in the blink of an eye, but it was intense to take in.
Yeah.
I just sold some bulk stuff off today. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, that was just some wild stuff. There was a Steve Ditko signed book in there. I mean, it was a lot of just 90s glut, just which
Yeah.
makes complete sense, but just the sheer volume of it was intense.
We go to like flea markets and yard sales and stuff like that all the time, and so some of those experiences have been pretty interesting.
I mean, we found a Hulk 181 at a yard sale in a basket full of, and this is disgusting, but full of roaches. But at the same time, it's a Hulk 181.
Let's see. We found like a I don't know if you guys sew very much or use sewing machines, but at a flea market one time, we kind of split our ways. Sometimes at the flea market, he'll go one way, I'll go another, and we'll kind of meet up and be like, "What'd you get? What'd you get?" And I walked by a sewing machine that had an advertisement for a Game Boy on it, and I thought it was really weird.
A sewing machine,
yeah,
like...
it was a sewing machine with a Game Boy thing on it, and I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. I played video games. I didn't know a sewing machine would have anything to do with Game Boy. So I told him about it when we met back up, and he was like, "Oh my gosh, where is it?" So we went and got it, and he knew exactly what it was.
That's the rarest Game Boy thing that exists as far as like mass produced things. So yeah, a Game Boy sewing machine. I've never seen another one in my life.
You could literally, like, I guess, play the game and like make a design, and then it would sew it out for you. I don't know. It doesn't sound super fun to me, but
the 90s, it was a time. Yeah. Again, AOL, I mean, in its infancy, it was instant messenger.
Yep, Nokia phones.
Yep.
But as far as like shows and stuff, again, getting to do the Charlotte Comic-Con was a huge thing.
The first,
getting to do the Heroes convention was a huge thing. Starting a convention, was a big thing too. So I mean,
I'm glad to have been there for a lot of those experiences.
So we've talked about how you've gone from seeing the comics in the closet to having in 2019 boxes and boxes, and this is like a Valentine's Day episode. So beyond just like comics and the business stuff, you guys have been together for 22 years, going through high school, like say college, careers and all that. I guess, and I kind of can relate to this as I've been with my wife. We started dating as seniors in high school. So like going through prom and all that, college, having a house and a dog now, it's sometimes you stop and like, what the heck? Like, it's so weird thinking about it that like you've been with this person through so many different phases. So I guess I was wondering if you could kind of talk on that. What that's like.
I feel like it's a pretty awesome thing to basically grow up, with someone, and have all of these shared experiences that you can go back and look on, and that we're kind of doing different things over the years, but in the core of things, we're just those silly little 14-year-olds, in there somewhere still. But we've done so many things, and
yeah, I 14-year-old me would have been, I wouldn't have believed the things that we have been able to, and this might seem a little cocky or arrogant, but just how much we've been through, how much we've gotten through, and that we've, I feel like, achieved and stuff too, with either going to college. I mean, Sara has her master's degree. I mean, worked so many different jobs, just done a lot. I mean,
yeah, living life, if you got to live life, it's best to do it with your best friend. So through the good, the bad, the everything, we're always there for each other and support each other. So it's good to have somebody like that.
I mean, we're looking forward to the next 22 years.
Oh yeah.
So
we like to say, my wife and I would joke like, do I get renewed for another year? Like, do we extend the contract? Do we?
Well, hey Tyler, not to be whatever, but you're 25.
26, but yeah.
26. Okay. So our relationship is almost as old as you, and I mean that makes me feel very. I mean,
like that. Like that, man.
The gray in my beard.
I thought about phrasing it like that. I wasn't going to, but I mean,
he already thought about it though.
Yeah. I am so thankful to be able to, not to get like off. I mean, I know this whole thing is like comic books and whatever, but
it's Valentine's Day. It can be sappy.
Yeah.
Well, I am just so incredibly thankful to be able to spend my life with Sara. I mean, and we have lived so many different, like, I mean, when you know, I did the band thing hard and was signed and toured and stuff, and we even did our tiny little thing together, and yeah, I mean, I don't know, I feel like I am very happy that we have done everything. I feel very I feel like everyone should do as much as they possibly can with their lives. Yeah, I mean, and
It's fun to, look back on, things in the past, and, we've been together so long, we can think back to, what it was like in high school, or we grew up in a very similar area, so like a couple minutes from each other, but we didn't know each other till high school. So we had like similar experiences even when we weren't together. Like there was a video store called Video for You, which I frequented like every Friday, every weekend. He did it as well. We never, not that I know, crossed paths there, but that's experiences that we can share and talk about as well. Or like, hey, do you remember that time we saw a naked guy run across the road at 3 a.m. when we were 18? So it's just fun.
This was a band thing, taking and we did not live a couple minutes away. We lived, it was like 15 minutes apart, and there was one rental store. Again, Tyler, did you ever even go to a Blockbuster?
I know Blockbuster. I'm not.
Okay, you know Blockbuster. Okay.
I was going to I was actually just to cover, make sure that he knew what a VHS.
I know what a VHS is.
Okay.
Hey, I went to the very last open, still remaining Blockbuster a couple of years ago. It's in Bend, Oregon.
We watched a documentary on that. Yeah.
It's killer. It's great. So awesome, because I remember those places. I mean, yeah, I was around before those places even existed, and to see them up and coming was. I mean, I worked at one in California when I moved down there a long time ago for just about a year, and then came back home with the band and stuff and got stuff rolling again. But yeah, that was insanity. You'd have lines out the door on Friday nights and Saturday nights for people to rent VHS movies. It was insanity.
Well, there's no AOL, man. There's no internet. There's no.
Right. There's nothing. You ride your bike if you want to get somewhere. I mean, if you want to call someplace, it's long distance. You're one side of the street. You call the other side of the street. It's long distance. It's nutty. But now here we are. You can call anywhere in the United States for a monthly plan. It's
and we're doing this.
Yeah.
Right
yes,
now.
we're doing. Yes, we're doing this.
Yeah.
with all this Valentine stuff in mind, okay, we want to know, inquiring minds want to know, the whole universe that's watching us, all 52 people, want to know what is your favorite candy and what is your favorite candy. So Sara, you and then Chris.
What is the other person's favorite candy? I suppose.
Oh yeah.
You know the other person well enough to tell what their favorite.
Yeah. So what Sara, what would Chris's favorite candy be, and then vice versa?
So he doesn't really have a sweet tooth.
Oh my goodness! Interview
he's not
over.
like a candy snacker. if I were gonna get something sweet, it'd probably be like a pastry type thing with like a fruit filling, like a raspberry or something. Like that's kind of his jam. But occasionally he'll eat like Milky Way or Three Musketeers or maybe a York peppermint patty.
Oh yeah, those are great.
They are awesome. Yeah. But as you get a little bit older, it gets a little heartburn, some of that peppermint. So
getting old, yeah. As far as candy though, for Sara, I mean, Sara loves candy of all kinds. In Hickory, she brought some lemon heads with her.
Yeah, if you saw me last weekend, I was probably eating some lemon heads.
If it's just a standard candy bar, probably like a Snickers.
Mm-hmm.
Classic, just candy bar style. Sour Patch Kids.
Yeah, I like sour stuff.
I know, yeah. So,
but yeah, I probably wouldn't get him a box of, a heart box of chocolates. I'd probably get him a little box of pastries.
I mean, yeah, a little Danish.
Yep, Danish.
Something like that.
Yum.
Those are legit.
Yeah.
No, I've always found, if I can ever go home and just like surprise with like dark chocolate or something like that, can't go wrong with that.
Yep, that's true. That's very true.
It's like, hey, random.
Tim, Lauren, what's y'all's favorite candies?
Oh, wow. Mine, I mean, it's all across the board, but York Peppermint Patty is one of my favorites. Junior Mints is one of my favorites.
Okay, same.
Look at that
same
guy.
vibe, yeah.
Tim, we're not getting paid. Stop.
Today's episode's brought to you by
Yes.
Reese's Pieces.
Reese's Peanut Butter Cup
Skittles.
is one of the most awesome candies too. I'm not so much a fan of the Reese's Pieces. Look at this guy over here just showing logos.
I have
Dang.
issues.
That's what you do is you drop the product and then you send them the invoice. You're like, we already advertised that would pay us.
Yeah, they got to know that there's 52 people watching, so they're going to sell some product after that.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I just want to cut it. Okay. If they do, then we should be getting some kind of royalties also.
I mean, it can only help, right? It can only
Yeah.
help them. It can't hurt them. Yes.
So
Yeah, we've got to come up with a really cool ad slogan for comics and candy. CC.
What?
Hey, CC is chasing collectibles.
Hey.
Ooh,
there we go.
we're on to something. Chris, get those songs going.
Yeah, someone get a pencil.
Chasing collectibles, they like to eat candy.
Hey,
Dun, dun,
hey,
dun, dun, dun.
That's a jam.
I thought I had an ET around here. I was looking to show the ET since I was showing Reese's Pieces.
Mhm.
Gotta get the Foggy Bottom Boys to do a song for us. So
What?
you know that movie? What? So what's it called?
Rando.
Oh Brother Art Thou?
Yes.
well, yeah, that's classic film. What is that?
It's,
It's a retelling. Come on,
yeah, it's a retelling of the Odyssey through like a modern,
there you go.
not modern,
There
but
you
like a
go.
southern 1920s, 1930s era. It's got
Multiverse tale. It's a multiverse tale. Yes.
yeah, it's got George Clooney in it. Yes. Speaking
Okay.
speaking of films, and I can't think of a good transition. Well, George Clooney was married in that movie. He was in a relationship. Speaking of relationships,
There you go.
what
There
would
you go.
be your advice for just other couples, who are together?
Yeah. Just
Don't get
always
too
be
deep.
supportive. I mean, that's the thing that, whatever the other person likes to do, support them in that, because if they're happy, a relationship will be happy.
Yeah.
I love that. That's great.
I mean, you gotta, no matter what it is, if it's something they like, let them be passionate about it. Let them do that. Try to be interested in it, even if you aren't really, at least, I'm very interested in this kind of stuff, but I'm just saying in general, for people who might not be,
Yeah.
at least give it a shot, but at least let them be passionate about it, and support them in their wishes and things. So
Yeah, I mean, the same thing. You have to be supportive of the person that you love. I mean, if not, then is it really the person that you love? Like you gotta, so yeah.
yeah, let them do their thing. You do your thing, and
You're always gonna have arguments. You're always gonna have little, don't sweat the little things.
Because
I
they're
don't
all
know.
little things.
I mean, at the end of the day, yes, that's true. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
just
I think just the
I don't know.
support thing is a big thing.
Yeah. Just to oversimplify. Yeah, I mean, just
So
to be
beautiful.
supportive.
Yeah, Lauren's in tears over here.
I think we've talked. I think we've talked about this before, Tyler. I think it's something along the lines of quiet wife, happy life. I don't know. We might not ever see me again after that one.
Look,
Yeah,
he's
oh my
looking
God.
around like
Oh my
he's
god.
all nervous. Where's she at?
No.
I-
Happy wife, happy life.
Well,
Yeah.
I would. The best advice I've gotten is like, that a relationship isn't always going to be I guess 50-50 in terms of who's getting the most attention at a times. You know, there's different periods in your life where someone's doing one thing and you've got to be more supportive, or somebody's going through, whether it's like schooling or a career change or something, that they need your support. And as long as it's like a give and take, that you're not, you're supporting somebody, but then at the same time, they're supporting you. Like you said, with support, they're supporting your endeavors. You help them, they help you. It's a team.
Right. It has to be reciprocal. Yeah, for sure.
I mean, Tyler, that's a very good way of putting it.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So because
Yep.
it is always a push and pull, just if you're people doing something, there's always gonna be, stuff. So
it's like with Anita, I've got so many things going on with myself now, even in my older age. I've got the band thing going. I've got the eBay thing going. I've got the Comic Cons going. I've got Chasing Collectibles interviews going. And she's supportive of all of it. She loves to come out to the shows that we play. And she loves to come out to the shows that we do with the comics. She watches these once they're posted. So she's very, very supportive. And it's awesome to see. So yeah, it's great.
And being invested in your partner's life is very important, to tune in to what they care about and share that with them, and hopefully they reciprocate that. So that's awesome. That's really awesome.
It's cool that there's been so many. There's a lot of because you guys aren't the only couple that we see at these shows. There's Larry and Robin.
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
Yeah,
they're awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the first Charlotte Comic Con that we had ever set up at, they were actually set up next to us. So I mean, that's actually, again, not to circle back to the Charlotte Comic Con and the significance of it, because I mean,
it's all right. Dave and Rick appreciate
it. I mean, yes, they do. Yeah.
April, got to find the day. April, coming soon.
April 2nd. April 2nd.
There we go.
Yeah.
April 2nd. There we go, Dave.
Yeah. Can we give a little plug for the Microcon?
Oh yeah, most
Of
definitely.
course. Yeah.
Okay.
You got a sign, man?
Yeah, it's gonna be.
Oh man. Yeah. Does he have a sign?
May 6th. Yeah.
Where at?
Second Bears Brewing Company, 329 McGill Avenue. I mean, it's real close to downtown Concord. Y'all be set up there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
That's awesome, guys. All right, so
how many vendors are going to be at that one? How many?
There's going to be about 50 this year. It's the same spot. Like, we run an open mic night up there too, but they've been doing so many expansions up there and stuff. We have a lot more space than even last year. So yeah,
it's not as micro.
I mean, it hasn't been micro since 2017, but branding and stuff, you can't change it once you start.
Great name, too.
Yeah.
So,
and I'm happy you guys have more room this year, because I think last year it was a matter of like, oh, we got to see if if we have enough space, and we got put on on the waiting list. So it's always good, you guys are expanding, and
it's coming off the COVID year too, and since it's at a brewery, I mean, things are just a little bit different. Yeah, but
expanding a little bit each year. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but hey, we just have a couple props. I just want to show a couple things. Okay.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. So Sarah's favorite X-Men is the Beast. Now, we already showed this, but first furry Beast, first blue Beast.
Chris got those for me as a Christmas gift many years ago.
First actual Beast, X-Men #1.
That is not mine.
Blair's terrible. Yeah.
Sweet.
And then, I mean, this is the only album that Sarah and I ever put out as a little duo. We have 3 of these left. I think it was 2014. It's a long time ago now. So
that would be some more advice for couples. If you can be creative together, That's always an awesome experience. You know, we just wrote silly little songs, but it was always fun, you know.
Yeah, we didn't ask you about what instrument. Like, do you play an instrument too?
Sarah was the drummer in Solar Cat. This group,
Ah.
yeah. I mean, we were just like a duo, kind of like think like the White Stripes, but
Yeah.
not as good as the White Stripes, but like the White Stripes in the sense that there's a drummer and a guitar player. And then it was like comic book themed. Like we had a song about Hank McCoy, the Beast. Yeah. So
Yeah, I'll say I played drums. You know, I'm not very musically talented, but it was kind of a thing for us to bond. And if Chris wasn't out touring, you know, he always wanted to be playing music and stuff. And so he was like, hey, you can learn to play something and we can play together. So he would teach me, you know, how to play drums, and then I would try to keep a beat while he played, you know, guitar over it. And that's how we kind of wrote songs. And
I mean, it was fun. Yeah.
so
That
we went out
sounds
to
really
shows
cool.
and yeah, so yeah.
So,
But if you
Do
get
you
creative
have any
together,
extra copies of that thing that you can swing us?
I mean, all I have left of the hard copies are literally 3 copies. It's
Oh,
I
very
feel
well.
so bad. I mean, it's still up on like Bandcamp and stuff for free.
yeah, we have
Yeah.
a couple
Okay.
music videos.
Yeah, we do have 2 music videos on YouTube. And then I mean, Sarah's helped me with the music videos of the stuff I put out for my solo stuff. I mean, this is the thing I put out this year or last year, excuse me. She helped me with 2 of the 3 videos.
Yeah,
It's
Nice.
good to be creative together. Again, it's good to have any little thing that you can.
bond over.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
wow.
anyways, yeah. So I'm glad y'all can be at the Microcon this year on May 6th. So yeah,
Yeah, we're pumped
Nice.
for it.
yeah.
Most definitely. Yes.
So
we are.
hey, all 3 of y'all are gonna be there though, right?
Yes.
I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna take that day off from my regular day job and go up and hang out with a bunch of comic book people.
I get worried sometimes. I'm a big Beatles fan, and I know that, you know, they all later on they all started wanting to do their own things and all that, and it was harder to get them all in one place. And you know, I get worried sometimes, you guys. You know, what's gonna happen? I don't want us to split up. You know,
Oh,
it's rare that we get together like this. You know,
yeah, and it's
I'm
yeah,
out.
I know.
And then we have to figure
Every
out like, who's Ringo, who has to be Ringo. You know who. You know, I'm partial to Harrison and all that. You know who. I don't. It's chaotic. So, and there's only 3 of us too, so that makes the metaphor even worse.
Well, hey, for all intents and purposes, I'll be y'all's Ringo because all you have to do is add 1 letter to my last name, and I'm just a drummer, so I'll just, you know, I'll come
There
and
you
go.
go.
He is a really good drummer. You got to give him.
No, I mean Ringo
I'll be Pete Best because
okay.
I'm a drummer too.
We'll do a Grateful Dead and have 2 drummers. Yes. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Imagine the Beatles with 2 drummers.
It wouldn't work.
It wouldn't work. It would
No.
not work. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Ringo
Exactly.
doesn't get enough credit as a drummer in the world of drumming. I think he
Absolutely.
was severely underrated for what he did. Because if you listen to that stuff, and I mean really listen to it, and just imagine that time period, there was no such thing as a click track. There was
Lauren, you're right. Yeah. Yeah.
And you know, all the oh man, there's so many great fills that he did that were what you think are so simple. The hardest thing to do playing drums is playing something slow, like a ballad type thing. That takes so much concentration and also to play something repetitively through the whole song, like without anything else, nothing else but that for 3 minutes. It's difficult.
Yep.
Consistency is hard. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, again, I mean, now we're talking, instead of, this isn't a comic book chat, this is a music chat. But yes, I mean, also at that time, think of the language wasn't written really as far as rock drumming. So I mean, Ringo Starr was such a foundational kind of, I mean, so little had been done in that genre before him. So I mean, yeah.
He was also
Yeah.
really good as the conductor on Thomas the Train.
That's
You guys
true.
ever watch that?
Yeah, Thomas the Train,
Yeah.
Percy.
He was really good in that.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean,
He was like really little, you know.
Lauren, do you know what we're talking about?
I know what you're talking
I know
about.
of Thomas the Train, but I don't know that I've
No,
seen anything
Ringo
with Ringo.
Starr was literally the conductor.
Yeah, he was
So
the
this would have
conductor.
been from our childhood.
This loop in
Okay.
full circle.
He was like a little mini man, a little mini conductor,
Conductor, yeah.
which is maybe a metaphor for being a conductor, because really the drummer is essentially the conductor of the band, even
Yeah,
though they don't get the credit.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
that's deep.
Yeah.
That's deep.
the tempo is what I say it is.
Right. So, yeah, little Ringo Starr, he's saying trains, go do your thing. Yeah.
Well, just to make sure we tie it all together, one of my favorite comics I have, Batman.
Oh, the Beatles. Yeah. But
Neil
not
Adams.
the Beatles, but the Beatles.
Not the Beatles, but yeah, basically the Beatles.
Neil Adams cover.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
Wasn't there a Strange Tales that had the Beatles in it, or Tales to Astonish?
It was a Strange Tales issue, and I have it, but it's very loose. I think it was like the Mop Top
Oh, no, yeah.
something.
Yeah,
But that Batman issue, I think, is the closest from the Silver Age, because was that a 15-cent cover, Tyler?
yeah, 15 cent.
Okay, yeah, so late Silver Age, but yes, that's definitely the Beatles. Though there's no question. Yeah.
And to plug it even further, we got Comic Clear.
Oh yes. Again,
It's all coming together.
Yeah.
The cinematic-
Again,
The Chasing
love that
Collectibles
dude's-
cinematic universe.
yeah, Steven does a great job. Comic book supplies can only be so innovative. He is at the precipice of comic book supply innovation. So,
Who else
Yeah.
can we plug that we've talked to?
well, we already talked
Drum.
about AOL enough.
Here we go again.
Shelton with
Yeah.
we talked about
But
Shelton,
no,
right? With the
Heroes.
Con coming up. Like we've mentioned Larry. We just mentioned it. We're talking about everybody here.
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah.
So Larry's show coming up in March.
Yep. We got
Um,
Carolina Vintage Show.
Yeah.
I would be remiss if I didn't give a shout out to Nick Franks, of course, with my old nickel spot stomping grounds. He taught me so much about the comic world, more detailed than what I already knew, as far as grading and pricing and all that stuff, research. Shout out to Nick. What's up, Nick?
He's watching, maybe.
Hey, Nick.
He's not watching right now, but he's
Lauren, Dave was my Nick when I was growing up. I mean, that's how-
yeah.
yeah.
Well, Chris, you have the honor of being one of two people to appear on the show twice. I think Larry's the only other person to be on the show twice.
I feel privileged and thankful. Yes.
Your certificate's coming.
All right. So
It'll be like SNL. We'll have a 5-timers jacket eventually.
Yeah, black jacket.
Yeah.
All right,
going,
well,
going forward, 2023. What are you guys looking forward to?
well, I mean, again, it's kind of like trading on the same things, but
More comics.
yeah, the Here's Minicon this weekend, the Concord Microcon on May 6th, because that's our show. The Large Heroes Con in June, and then just the stuff that we'll find. I mean, that's
Just the hunt.
yeah, that's the most exciting thing, because I mean, if I'm at a show and Sara is not tag teaming it with me, she's out at the yard sales and flea markets and stuff too. So that's I'm always excited when I get back. It's like, what did you find? And it's not always that Game Boy sewing machine, but there's cool stuff. Yeah. So just looking forward to seeing friends, buying comic books, selling comic books.
Yeah.
All of that. Yeah. Running conventions, whatever. Yeah. All that, everything. Yeah. So, and spending time with my best friend.
Yep.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Well, and just one more time for all the folks. We got a couple months to go to it, but we've got on Saturday, May 6th, will be the Concord Microcon 12 to 5. And that's going to be the There we go. Perfect. 329 McGill Avenue in Concord, North Carolina. We'll be there. Chasing Collectibles will be there. Tons of awesome vendors. Bring the person that you love with you, and it'll be a great time.
So it's free. We'll have food trucks out there.
Make
It's
a
a
date
brewery,
out.
so yeah,
Nice.
if you like beer.
Pastry truck?
Say what?
Pastry truck?
No, we usually have 8 to 10 food trucks at the Concord
I
Microcon.
think
Yeah.
there'll be a cookie truck though.
Ooh,
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, I'm
There we
coming.
go.
Cookie
I'm
truck.
coming for sure.
Maybe.
I was on the fence. Now,
Yeah. Yeah. So
Good times.
we really appreciate you guys having us on here.
yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah. We
And
definitely appreciate you guys coming on together. This has been amazing.
yes, and to all the folks watching, happy Valentine's Day. Hope you can share it with somebody you love or somebody around you. And yes, heart emojis. Spam the heart emojis. And appreciate you guys joining us. And
I suck at that.
we'll see you next time. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.
Yay! Come